Hey, how's it going guys? Ricky Summer here, and today I've come back in time to explore the possibility of only running light mechs in MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. But first, a message from our sponsor.
Tech Funk. Hack your hygiene.
Alright man, light mechs is where it's at. I love my light mechs, my mediums too, but look, there's just something so satisfying and exhilarating, just fun, about going fast for one, you know, Sanic Mech. Listen, I don't need to tell you about Sanic Mech, right? Just running rings around the big guys, Daka and a Locust, is just, I mean, we talk about war crimes a lot on this channel. That's a war crime, and I love it. Back in MechWarrior Online, Raven. I was a Raven boy. Raven is my all-time favorite mech. But listen, light mechs, I want to know if we can only run light mechs in MechWarrior 5. So, I've started a new career, and we're going to test it out. Alright, so of course we're playing with a DLC here, Heroes of the Inner Sphere, which allows us to play a free-form career mode that is free of the regular campaign story nonsense, and part of that is getting to choose where we start in the galaxy, which includes an initial lineup of mechs. If you want to know my opinions on the DLC and the newest update to MechWarrior 5, you can check the card at the top of the screen right there, where I go into some detail about the game in its current state. But for the moment, we're gonna pick House Kurita here because it is the only house that starts you off with 4 lights. Some of the other options give you some medium mechs. We're going Jenna, we're going Panther, we're going Spider, we're going Locust. It's the dream team of early game light mech lance action, and I'm ready. Let's jump into it. Alright, so at the beginning of the career mode in Heroes of the Inner Sphere, you get a transmission from a friend of your father, and it's basically just some vague guidance to hit reputation 4. So that's going to be our goal for this video. Company name, Danger Noodles. That'll inspire fear across the periphery. Alright, my first action as mech commander of the Danger Noodles, fashion. We're going to go with this burnt orange / muted red affair as a tribute to our House Kurita origins, with a nice snake decal and 90s computer hardware off-white, along with one of the 50 shades of grey. Now we have to name our mechs: Jenna Craig, Lightfoot, Low Fat, and Peter. Alright, I'm taking control of the Locust because she's fast, she's got the Daka, and, like, is kinda cute. First mission, a nice little assassination for the periphery realms. Alright, we're tasked with taking out a blackjack here. Let's see how we go. Results. The Panther lost its PPC arm, so we might need a faster mech. Look, it's a little bit of a risk, but it's in the name. Danger Noodles take risks. We live on the edge, flying by the seat of our pants, riding by the seat of our pants. Anyway, I'm spending some of my early funds on buying a Locust, because that Panther, as much as I love it, PPC's, is pretty rad. I'm a big fan of PPC, but she's just not fast enough. So I'm sorry, Lightfoot, you're out of the rotation. We're bringing in a Locust 3V. Yo, and this one has a little more damage potential than the Locust we currently possess. Hey yo, what do we got to call it? Mission number 2. So I was a little bit wary about doing a defense mission because I figure light mechs, they can't take a beating, they're not going to be good at defense. But because you're not the target, you're not defending yourselves, you're defending a base, it's actually kind of alright. So despite my instinct, I find myself really quite liking defense missions with an all-light lance, because then you can just run around and you're actually quite good at defense because you can get to each side of the base fairly quickly. Mission number 3. Alright, so I've actually got some advice for you this time. It's another assassination mission, and the target was a hunchback. I can tell you right now, from my experience so far, running only light mechs, hunchbacks are the worst friggin' mech to face with an all-light lance. They're tough, and they put out like a decent amount of close range damage, which is where you're going to be living with a light lance, especially if you're piloting the Locust like I have chosen to do. And I do recommend you pilot the Locust because, like I said, she's fast. She's got the Daka. Those machine guns, holy hell, early on. Machine guns are, I want to say borderline overpowered. No, I'm not going to say that. They're just good. Machine guns are good. Use them. Anyway, hunchbacks are big. So what I ended up doing, and what I recommend you do, is try to bait it out. So luckily there's a lot of terrain to hide behind in a lot of these maps, so use it. As a light-only lance, you're going to be abusing the terrain maybe more than you normally would with any other lance, or maybe it's just revealed the weakness in my own playstyle. Oh shit, no, that's what it is. I should be using the terrain more. Anyway, now I have to, so I'm learning good habits. So what I did was command my lance to hide behind the ridge around this base, and then I would just run back and forth and take little pot shots at the hunchback until it eventually lured out, or I would take out all its supporting units, the tanks and the turrets and whatnot, until I was fairly confident that it was just me, the lance, and the hunchback, and then we'd go all in, focus fire. You know, you gotta learn when to move your lance out of harm's way and when to go in for focus fire. So then we all chipped in, you know, try and get out of that confined space of the base, try to get it in the open, because that's where the light mechs shine. We have to keep up speed. I mean, that is why the Panther kind of didn't do so well and lost its arm, because it's nowhere near as fast as the rest of my lance, aside from the fact that it would just get left behind straight up. Anyway, so we took out the hunchback first try. Don't even trip.
Not good. I've lost the component. I'm safe, but lost my damn mech.
Alright, it's become clear to me that the Panther is a liability. So I'll be looking to replace it with like pretty much anything, man. Alright, we've got a Warzone mission here. Unfortunately, I was a little sloppy and we get an ammo explosion in Micro Machine. Not great. I don't love running around without my machine guns because like they're actually they're stupid good, man. Use machine guns. But hey, listen, we got through it. We got the repairs done. And what's more, we got salvage for a spider. This one's going to be called Incy Wincy. Time to sell the Panther. Alright, at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident. I've got a lance that's comparable in speed, so we can all keep up with each other. We've got enough damage to get by, so let's just get through some missions here.
3 months later.
So along the way, we managed to score salvage for an assassin, which, make no mistake, is a fine mech. But it's not a light mech, is it? Be gone! Which nets us a cool 1.9 mil C-bills. And not long after that, we hit Reputation 4. Alright, debrief. But before we continue, here's a message from the future, from our sponsor, TechFunk. 2021 is the year of hygiene, so I went back to the future to visit John and Matt at TechFunk and brought back some heckin' rad soap. Meet the Squad, Conforminator, Foam Chomsky, Imposter Syndrome, Spectrum, Black Swan, and Dover Clean.
Hana, da, bain, hook.
It's all natural, handmade, so it feels nice and rugged in your hand. Some soaps give me dry, flaky skin on my palms, but TechFunk does not. I gotta say, they felt really good to use, and they smell great too. They don't have that traditional soapy aroma to them. Check out the all-natural Quad Squad Shower Team 6 bundle or build your own bundle and save on your order. I gotta say, working with John from TechFunk was a great experience as well. I found out he's a big fan of X4 and MechWarrior, so you know, kindred spirits. I do highly recommend TechFunk. Go to techfunk.com/discount/retro or enter retro at checkout for 20% off your order. Put a little fun into your soap and hack your hygiene. So it's not an easy start. I noticed like straight off the bat, like starting as House Kurita with the 4 light mechs as opposed to having a couple mediums or even just one medium is more difficult. Not just in the missions, but also just money-wise, because you're likely going to be conducting more repairs. If you don't do well in the missions, then it's a little harder to amass funds. By contrast, choosing to start in Marek space, like I did for my impressions video, card at the top of the screen right there if you want to check that out, which starts you with an assassin, which like is not my favorite mech of all time, and it's not super tanky, but you know, I feel like it's a little more capable just having a few lights and then you and the assassin, you know? I actually found it was an easier start and I could get my merc company up and running a little quicker, and now in barely any time at all, I got like heavy mechs coming out of my eyes, man, you know? But here, it's a slower start, and like there was a point where I was like, yo, am I just gonna run out of money here and actually fail? Not because I've lost my lance is healthy and fighting fit, but because I can't afford to maintain it. I think buying that Locust early on, before I really needed it, was a risk, but a risk I'm glad I took. I think if you're gonna run light mechs early on, the play is going to be that of a rusher. If you liken it to a real-time strategy game, in this case, with light mechs, we're going to be rushing our economy, right? We're going to be taking risks, we're going to be spending all our money early on so that we can be better off later on. The alternative is blowing a lot more money on travel. For example, a lot of the time I would forego going back to industrial hubs to repair. Yes, it takes a little bit longer to repair in active war zones and it costs a little bit more, but if you're careful with your lance and you manage them well and you pilot well yourself, you're not going to have so many repairs that it's actually going to be a big deal. As long as you're not losing limbs, or more importantly, having to replace weapons on the regular, it's not much of a loss really. It's going to be like maybe 2,000 to 5,000 more C-bills and maybe 1 or 2 extra days on the repair for repairing inside a war zone. And if you weigh that up with the 50 to 200,000 C-bills it's going to cost you to get back to an industrial hub, listen, the economics start to make sense. Now, in terms of the missions, I touched on this a little bit with the Hunchback assassination mission. You're going to want to be careful, man. We're light boys here. We got to be fast. We have to be moving at all times and keeping our lance out of harm's way. The AI isn't too smart. They're not useless, but you have to know when to give them orders and when to let them do their own thing. For example, I find that when we have helicopters coming in, you can mostly just leave them to it. If I want to be really quick with it, like if I got helicopters coming in and also a cicada bearing down on me as well, yeah, okay, I'm going to tell my lance to focus fire the helicopters so that we can get to the cicada quickly and not have to split our fire, you know? But if we just got choppers bearing down, whatever, just run past them, the lance will take them out, no problem. Now, when it comes to assassination missions, like I said before, you're going to want to bait that target out. So that means holding your lance back, not letting them go in. If there's a couple of targets, you want to bait one of them out. That is not always the main target. Sometimes you want to bait out the support first, get rid of them, and then take out the main target. Sometimes you will be able to bait out the main target, dispatch that, and just get out of dodge, man. Other mission types I recommend are actually defense missions, which include Warzone missions, I think. I think Warzone missions are defense missions. They're often presented in like a defense way, but I'm not sure if they're always defense missions. You guys let me know what your understanding of Warzone missions are in the comments below the like button. And lastly, this one surprised me. Demolition missions. Now, usually I don't have a lot of luck with demolition missions in the sense that they take long enough that my lance sustains quite a bit of damage, even with medium and heavy mechs. But I gotta say, machine guns, man, use them. Machine guns are incredible tier at taking out buildings. Holy shit, especially the big skyscrapers. Fast mechs running in there, ducking and weaving, dackering up the towers. A revelation. I'm so glad this worked out. But hey, listen, the journey isn't over yet. This is just Reputation 4. We got a long way to go. I gotta find myself a Raven, man. I'm gonna get my hands on that Raven. And then, you know what's coming. All Raven Lance. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite class of mech? Light, medium, heavy, assault, and what's your favorite mech? But for the moment, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to gently caress that like button. Be excellent to each other, and I'll see you next time. Ricky Summer, out.